Hi guys. So based on what's trending, the US designated Nigeria or President Trump designated Nigeria as a country of particular concern. China have come out to back Nigeria. You know, uh, of course, the politics that is between the US and China. China will always back any country that US is against. You know, Presently they are backing Nigeria and Venezuela. Now I'm going to read out the message by the spokesperson of their foreign ministry said at a conference. He says, as Nigeria's comprehensive strategic partner, China firmly opposes any country uses religion and human rights as an excuse to interfere in other countries' internal affairs and threatening other countries with sanction and force. She said she was saying this at a press conference in Beijing on Tuesday. That's today. The name is Mao Ning. She is the spokesperson for China's foreign ministry. Said China firmly supports the Nigerian government as it leads its people on a development path suited to its national conditions. Now, of course, you know that China, it's not necessarily don't necessarily align with the US. Their policy and the policy of the US always differs. So whoever that is not aligning with the US, China will always you know align with those countries. And she also made a post. She also made a comment about Venezuela as well, and she said, responding to Trump's warning that United States could. Okay, he's still talking about Nigeria, that United States coming to Nigeria failed to stop what he described as killing of Christians. The Chinese official also addressed report that Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro is seeking military assistance from China, Russia, and Iran to prepare for possible US attacks. China has, and she said that China has a clear-cut stance on the US cracking down on so-called drug cartels by force in the Caribbean Sea. Ning said China supports the efforts of combating cross-border crimes through stronger international cooperation and opposing using or threatening to use force in international relations. He says we stand against moves that undermine peace and stability in Latin America and the Caribbean region and oppose unilateral and excessive enforcement operations against other countries' vessels. We hope the US will engage in normal law enforcement and judicial cooperation through bilateral and multilateral legal frameworks. So this is what she actually said. Now, Venezuela, of course, you know that they actually have issue because of most drugs. Majority of the drugs that are coming into US are coming from Venezuela, which Trump is accusing the president of Venezuela being to be backing drug cartels. So that's why they are going into Venezuela. So, but when I read this and I laugh, Venezuela, seeking help from China, Russia, and Iran. It's laughable. It's laughable. You understand? Because uh, believe me, none of those countries is going to come to their aid because this US base, and believe me, none of those countries will want to have any issue with US. So it's better they align with what is being said. Of course, they are into the way they are pushing drugs in those areas, the way South Americans are pushing drugs into the US is becoming alarming. If you walk into the US streets, you will see the kind of drugs, the kind of what drugs is doing to people there. And that is what President Trump is trying to curb. You understand? So he also needs to understand that Trump is trying to protect their country and they have been warned severally. You understand? So whatever he's saying, Venezuelan president is saying, none of those countries is going to come to his aid. So away from that to Nigeria. So China is seeking to support Nigeria, backing Nigeria on, their stand based on what Trump said. But if any other thing happens, or probably at the end of the day, Nigerian government did not step up to do anything, and US comes in. Believe me, China is still not going to do anything. So we should not take them serious. Meanwhile, I will always give you an update We're here to give you updates every day based on this particular news and other news. So just kindly subscribe and turn on your notification button to get notified whenever we post. I'll see you.